Hello, I'm Brandon. I'm the writer of Lake Arti. I originally wrote this story shortly after I finished college. It was based off of a photograph I took when I was a kid. We were in the motorhome. We pulled over to the side of the road, and don't know if you can see it too well, but it was based off of this photograph here. And I deal with mostly digital formats, and so when I had the digital copy of the book out there, I wanted something that was closer to this photograph. Of course, when I took this, the only camera that I had at the time was a 110, so it was too blurry. And so I had to use something a little different, but it still has an eye level, view of the lake, and it kind of came out pretty well, I think. When I wrote the story, it's one thing to write about a fictional character, but it's another thing to actually get to see it. The people I knew, he knew I was building characters, but they wanted to actually see it. So essentially what I had the character doing was telling people that the story was out there, and because the character is a high school student, a bit of a musician, he later has an accident, decomposes, and of course becomes back as a skeleton. He has a little bit of a darker side to him as well, and I tried to have the character be himself when he would do the different videos, so that you knew his story was out there, and kind of some places where you could find it. The character I built it with different materials because I wanted him to look pretty realistic. And back in the early 90s, before I actually started working on my doctorate, I used to do animation for accident reconstruction. And then I would, of course, build the models and do the animation. And so when I did the character, I wanted him to be able to move and look, like I said, realistic. And so I built him, and then I painted him with acrylics, but I used really bright colors so that, because in film when you're doing some of that, it tends to wash it out a little bit. And then on the bottom, it's going to fall apart, you can actually see the mechanisms that allow his head to move and his mouth to open, because the jawbone's not even connected. It's just essentially suspended in midair. I think what I'll do maybe next time in the future is maybe read a part of his character so that you can kind of get to know him a little bit. And after that, I may do something a little more elaborate for a video.